What's up, everyone? It's the boy back at it again. And I'll be completely honest, okay? The iPhone XS has been out for a minute, almost a year exactly. It was almost announced a year ago, but it was released like a couple weeks from now. And I'm going to be submerged in iPhone 11 content that I had to get this video out of the way before because I would never do it. But I kind of wanted to recap the iPhone XS and talk about pretty much how it's been throughout the last year. Now, I'm not really going to talk about all the little nitty gritty. I just want to talk about how it holds up right now as an iPhone, as still the best iPhone you can buy right now at the Apple Store. Now, honestly, just like most other iPhones, the iPhone is better now than it was last year, in my opinion. And a lot of that everything has to do with that, with the software. So since its release, we've gotten its first major software update, which was iOS 13, which in my opinion, coming from iOS 12, is a pretty decent upgrade. Like, you get the dark mode, you get all those different little nitty gritty cool little things with iOS 13. And I think overall the software is really, really important for the iOS ecosystem. Obviously, when you own an iPhone, you have iOS. And the fact that this is just a first software release of many more that we're going to be getting is super awesome. And I'm really happy about it. And as we expected, hardware, nothing has changed with it, obviously. It's not like going to grow an extra camera or anything. So hardware wise, it's still very fine. I mean, nothing has changed there. But coming from an iPhone 10, and that's the phone I use every day, like, it was a very, very minor hardware upgrade in my opinion at the time of its release. And even now, like, when you look at all the other competitors, like, I hate comparing like Android iPhones, whatever, but when you look at something like a Samsung Galaxy Note 10, which I owned, and the OnePlus 7 Pro, which I've compared to, like, the iPhone XS is lacking some really cool features that a lot of the competitors have. Now, I know with the iPhone 11, it's going to be, getting most of those cool little features. So I'm not going to like bash Apple as a whole. I'm just kind of just bashing the iPhone XS in and of itself, because in my opinion, out of the three iPhones that were released last year, the iPhone XR, the XS, and the XS Max, the iPhone XS was the one that probably brought the least amount to the table. And I think that's probably, that is not necessarily worth the money, especially when you look at what the competitors have, even compared to like the XR or XS Max. I think those brought more to the table than this phone did, even though the XS is a better phone than the XR. Not to sound like a hater or anything, I hate sounding like one, but honestly, I think the XS could have been a bigger upgrade, especially looking at it now. I think at the time we were already kind of like, man, this is a very, very small refresh. It wasn't as update. That's what a lot of people said, but I personally feel like the 6S back in the day, coming from an iPhone 6, was a pretty big upgrade. It might have looked the same, but it really brought a lot to the table. Now, the bright side of all this is that it was a safe update. They didn't really take too many they really didn't take any chances with the iPhone XS, to be honest. So there were no major hardware failures. There wasn't anything that really went crazy. I mean, there were some smaller reports here and there, but as a whole, there wasn't anything that like affected like 50% of the iPhone XS's or anything. So that's perfectly fine, and I actually loved seeing that. Now, looking at it in terms of the pricing structure as of right now, so as you all know, it's selling for $999, basically $1,000 at the Apple Store, but it's not going to be sold that much longer. Like, for the next couple weeks, it's going to be sold. But once the iPhone 11 comes out officially and it's released, they're not going to be selling the XS or XS Max, I don't think, in the Apple stores. So brand new, you could pick it up right now for $1,000. However, in the used market, this thing has appreciated quite a bit. I think you can pick one up for around the $750 price tag. It's still kind of expensive, but it is a little bit of a price drop, I would say, from the $1,000 price tag. However, what I will tell you is, in looking at previous iPhone used prices dropping from the newest iPhone prices, once the iPhone 11 comes out and officially, you can buy it in the Apple Store and everything, that price is probably going to go down to like $650 to even $600 for the base model. So I would probably wait until the iPhone 11 comes out to pick up an iPhone XS, even in the used market. You might be super lucky to get one for under $700 at this point, but once the new iPhone comes out and it's sold in the Apple stores, you're probably going to be able to get the base model of the iPhone XS for like $600 to $650 in my opinion. So overall, looking at the iPhone XS, I mean, I think it was a safe upgrade overall. Like, they really didn't take any chances with it. They didn't really do it too crazy. They were saving, I think, most of those changes for this year's iPhone and next year's iPhones. So the iPhone 11 and iPhone 12, or whatever they're going to call it next year, I think that's where most of the changes are going to happen. I think this year they just wanted to kind of focus more on the iPhone XR, in my opinion, even more so than the iPhone XS and XS Max. The iPhone XS, they really didn't change much from the iPhone 10, but the XS Max, I think, brought more to the table, and the XR, I think, brought more to the table than this specific phone. So not to hate on it, I mean, I personally own it, I've used it, But with that being said, I use my iPhone 10 every day. I like that phone a lot more than my iPhone 10s, mostly because of the battery, mostly because of a couple other things too. But I think overall, I have a lot of respect for the 10s, and if you choose to pick it up, then that's on you. I don't think it's a bad phone at all. Like, I'm not trying to say like it's a bad phone. It's a very, very good phone. But I think at the time of its release, Apple could have done a lot more for it than what they did. But that's pretty much it. I would recommend you to wait until the iPhone 11 comes out before you buy anything. But that's pretty much it, man. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, then.